Hello, everyone. Welcome to Reason Sense, where we trade insight and reason for outrage and violence. Please subscribe, like, and hit the bell to get notifications for our future episodes. Today, let's talk about the latest headline that comes out of Minneapolis. I don't pretend to be a journalist who investigates and brings you the facts of any side, but simply presenting insights for us to reflect and weigh the cost in this tense time of political chaos. So allow me to share with you the following thoughts to ponder. The fatal cost of resistance, a plea for de-escalation in a volatile era. The tragic events unfolding on the streets of Minneapolis in January 2026, culminating in the fatal shooting of Alex Jeffrey Pretti at the intersection of 26th Street and Nicollet Avenue, serve as a grim reminder of a burgeoning national crisis. Pretti, a 37-year-old nurse and U.S. citizen, became the third person in less than 2 weeks to be shot by federal agents in immigration enforcement operations in the city. While the community's outrage is palpable and the political rhetoric from both local and federal leaders is incendiary, we must confront a difficult, uncomfortable truth. As long as we are unwilling to back down and allow federal agents to perform their duties, we are choosing a path that leads inevitably to deadly consequences. In a highly charged environment where federal agents are deployed for Operation Metro Surge, the room for error is non-existent. When individuals, driven by great convictions or a desire to protect their community, choose to confront these agents directly, they are stepping into a tinderbox. The reality of modern law enforcement is that federal agents, whether from ICE or Border Patrol, are trained to respond to perceived threats with overwhelming force. If the current cycle of confrontation continues, the result is binary and equally tragic. Either federal agents will be killed by a mob or an individual intent on stopping them, or agents will use deadly force to resolve a tense situation. We have already seen this play out with devastating clarity. In the case of Alex Pretti, DHS officials claim he approached agents with a handgun and violently resisted disarmament, leading to what they described as defensive shots. Conversely, local officials and bystander videos depict a chaotic struggle where agents tackled a man who was recording them and attempting to assist another person. Regardless of which narrative proves true in the coming investigations, the outcome remains the same. A life was lost. It is a sobering pattern that almost always ends with those who resist being the victim. Resistance is often hailed as a noble act and a moral necessity, a stand against tyranny, or what Governor Tim Walz has called an absolute abomination, and local politicians labeled as an occupation and an invasion. These are highly charged political rhetoric because perhaps political leaders have a strong belief that they are truly being, quote, terrorized by the federal government. However, we must ask ourselves if the current situation of federal agents enforcing immigration laws is truly worth dying for. To take a step back and reflect is not an admission of defeat or a surrender of one's values. Rather, it is a sign of profound discipline. It is an acknowledgement that in a moment of extreme tension, the most courageous act is often the one that de-escalates the situation and preserves human life. Most important of all, the prevention of more deaths to come and the potential destruction of the Twin Cities. Discipline in this context means choosing to fight the battle through the courts, through legislation, and through the ballot box, rather than through physical confrontation on a street corner. When a mob surrounds federal agents or an individual chooses to insert themselves into a targeted operation, they create a shoot or be shot scenario that bypasses any hope for a peaceful resolution. The question to ask ourselves is it worth it? Is it worth the loss of many more lives that are yet to come? Is it worth the destruction of cities which takes only a few hours to destroy, but a whole generation to rebuild? Is it worth the division of a nation that plunges itself into a destructive chasm that has no way out? Please do share your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you for listening to what I have to say. I hope we all will share civil interactions and weigh the cost of our actions. Remember, always use reason and insight instead of outrage and violence. Take care.